Hello, welcome everybody. This is Jatin from Checkmate Chess Club. Today we'll analyze a very interesting game between Barinder and Udit. Udit is playing as black and Barinder is white. So let's analyze the position first. I think position is fairly equal. In eyes, white is a little passive. These rooks are not connected. Both have equal material, equal pawns. Everything is equal. Black is very active, little bit active, more active than white. This bishop is an excellent piece. This knight can jump here. The rooks are connected. So slight edge for white. So slight edge for black. So in this position, it's black to play. So black goes uh, queen e6, knight f2, attacking the bishop, and knight bishop to g4. Bishop to g4 was a blunder. Reason being this h3 idea. The h3 idea is just to play h3, and if you take the h3, rook to h1, and this h6 pawn will fall. There is no defense here. And once h6 pawn will fall, the queen will enter the territory, and it's bad for black king. So that's why this was a blunder. But white did not find the idea. White goes rook to f1. Rook to f1 is just a normal move, I think. Queen d7, knight takes g4, queen takes g4, queen f2. Idea behind queen f2 is just to attack this pawn. Queen e6, queen f5, knight to e7. Actually, knight to f8 was better, just to capture with the knight. But knight to e7 basically forces the trade of queen. Knight to e7, queen take on e6, f takes e6, and king e2. King e2 is a very nice move, again connecting the rooks. A rook to f8, immediately challenging the open file. King e3, again bringing the king in. King g6, black is also doing the same. Rook takes f8, and a4. a4 is a very nice move, opening this file. Very nice idea. Rook to c8, a takes b5, rook to a7, infiltrating. King to f7, actually king to f6 was better, just not to put this knight in the pin. But anyways, rook to a6, attacking the c6 pawn. King f6, h4. h4 is just to take away this square from the king. Rook g8, attacking the g pawn. King f3, protecting. Rook b8, c4. c4 is again very good move. You want to activate your bishop. Rook b takes c4, bishop takes c4, and rook to d8. Rook to d8 just to activate the rook and ready for infiltration. Rook to a1, again very nice move. Rook to a1, you want to protect your e pawn. Rook to a1, rook to d2, infiltrating. Rook to e1, just to protect the pawn, overprotect the pawn. Knight to c8, again very good idea. Very deep understanding of chess is shown by black. Knight to c8, you want to go to knight to d6, attack this bishop, attack this pawn. The next is king to e3, rook to g2, king to f3, rook to d2. So black is basically offering a draw here, but white did not accept. White go king to g4, knight d6, and rook to f1 check. So here things get interesting. Black plays king g7, and white takes the pawn. Best move here is to move the rook up and attack this pawn this way and win it. But black decided to immediately win this pawn, and this actually made his position very little bit worse. So this pawn was basically a poison pawn. Knight takes e4. Knight e4 is bad because this knight was protecting this square on f7. Now rook can infiltrate. So rook infiltrating rook. Rook to f7. King to h8. And now why this position is actually bad is because of the move king to h5. Taking this pawn and threatening checkmate. Basically delivering checkmate. If black does nothing, these are next three moves for white. King h5, king takes h6, and rook to h7 checkmate. But let's see. White plays this. This is also a blunder. White plays bishop f5 actually, and this just misses this fork. Knight to d6 fork, just to capture the bishop. Black misses the fork and goes rook d5. Rook d5 actually setting up the fork. Idea behind rook d5 is deliver this fork with a check and win the rook. But that's not happening actually. White takes the pawn, black takes the bishop, and now goes king f5. Actually, king f5 is also a blunder because you want to go again the same idea. I want to go to king h5, take this pawn, and threaten checkmate. If go here, here, and here, this is checkmating idea, and black cannot capture your pawns because you will be faster. If black tries to capture your pawns, you will just deliver a checkmate. I'll show you in a bit. So white plays king to f5. Good move. Rook to e3. g4. Now Indian wants to take this pawn so that this pawn can run. But black decided to play rook to f3. To f3 is again blunder because of this move. King to g6. King to g6, the idea behind is same. You take this pawn, you deliver the check. If black takes the rook, you take recapture, and this is a winning end game because these pawns are faster than g pawn will be faster than e pawn. If black does not take and move the rook, then I am going to take this pawn and I am going to deliver the mate. So let's see what happened. King to e6 was played. King to e6 again a blunder because of this very nice move. e4. e4 idea behind e4 is you cannot take my rook because this e pawn which will recapture and this pawn will just promote. If you have gone king g6 and if you try the same idea with e4, then I go here and you have to move your king because this is checkmate now. You don't have time to push your pawn. If you push, this is mate. This. See, that's why it was important to go into g6 instead of into e6. Okay, but white goes for king to e6, and black made the final mistake. Rook takes rook. Rook take rook. Idea behind rook take rook was to promote this pawn, but this g pawn is much faster than e pawn. Obviously, players were in time trouble here. King takes f7, e4, g5, h takes g5, h takes g5, e3, g6, e2, g7 check, h7, g8 queen, h6, and queen g6 checkmate. Hope you enjoy the game. If you do, like, share, subscribe. Thank you.